up, everybody? Today we have something that's a little bit out of order. So in a previous video you saw me tear this house down, and we also took this garage down, though I don't think I filmed that. But in preparation for that project, I need to get some limbs off of this tree so we can get both a septic truck and a dumpster truck in and out of here. Right now you can about drive a pickup in, that's about it. I can't even get my dump truck in. These limbs are just super low, and they've apparently haven't had to have anything big in here for a while. So it's a gum tree, sweet gum, or at least that's what we call it around here. And we're just gonna lop off a few of the lower limbs. Nothing terrible, it's gonna be just fine. We're not gonna take any of the big ones off up there. I think I measured that one, it's like 14.5 feet high, so it won't be a problem. But I figure that this will be a perfect opportunity to test out our newly made tree shear for the excavator. So I got the thing mounted up here. As you can see, it's a bit frosty. It's a cold morning today. We'll get this thing warmed up and get this turned for trimming and get started cutting. I also have another tree that's kind of just in the way of things, and so we're gonna just take the whole tree down. It's not a big tree or anything, which would be perfect because I think we can do the whole thing with the shear, which will be really handy and really fast, I hope. In order to tear this house down and haul it out effectively, we're gonna have our dumpsters here and our machine sitting on the hill, and the house is gonna be up, well, the house is up there. So this tree in the middle here has gotta go. So we're gonna go snip a bunch of pieces off and then leave ourselves something that we either cut off or we'll rip out with a stump when the big machine's here. Oh yeah, she's ready to go. Chomping at the bit, some would say. Just because I want to play with this thing a little bit and see how it works, we're gonna do a couple pieces. Oh, it would help if I opened it. One of the real challenges with this unit is that I can't see the tips of the jaws. They're just barely out of sight between some of the framework that was already on the unit before I got it added onto it. Let's see how. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. That was perfection. Get in here to this next one. Not even breaking a sweat. Probably isn't even warming up the hydraulic oil. Alright, now here's a situation where I don't want the shear to rotate on around in the direction it's headed, so I'm going to kind of manually just push it up against something. Try to flip it around a positive direction. There we go, that worked. I'm really glad we ended up making this thing swiveled and not just like fixed. That would have made it kind of a challenge to use. That was epic. I'm gonna go talk to this fella and see if he can wait just a moment. Yeah, rotating into position and snip just like that. Not even a real challenge. All right, let's kind of brush these out of the way real quick, just so we can get that truck in here and not keep him waiting. Well, folks, we've had a catastrophic failure. As you can see here, the head is at the wrong angle, and this pipe is slid out quite a bit. So I came back over this tree to trim off some of these stubs. I left a couple stubs on there real quick because we were just trying to get that truck in fast. And before I moved on to that tree, I wanted to get this one finished up. Didn't think it was worth filming, but now I see that it would have been. I guess we know what the weak point is. So this pipe, which was 4 inches in diameter on the inside and 1/4 inch wall, I think just completely gave out. The weld held, which is good. I mean, that was something I figured the weld would give out because my welds aren't the best in the world, but it tore out the base material. So I was just, it's a combination of things. I was probably being a little too rough with it, trying to get it right in next to the tree to cut off a nice, make a nice prune cut. Then also, that's just the weakest part. It wasn't quite substantial enough. So I also noticed another point that was kind of failing, but I thought I could live with, and that was the little keeper that I welded back on here. I should have expected that. I don't know what I was thinking. That's just a tiny little piece of metal, and if I'm gonna be pushing this stuff around on the ground with this thing, that's never gonna be enough to hold it in there. So we're gonna have to do something to make that a little bit better. So I'm gonna try and nurse this thing back onto the trailer. I think it's gonna have to go onto the trailer in 2 pieces, because right now if I try to move it, if it falls off, it's gonna rip the hydraulic lines off and do more damage. So let's go ahead and get things separated, get it loaded back up, get it home, and see if we can improve it. It's actually stayed together here in one piece pretty good. A while ago, back this fall on the channel, I made a trailer hitch for this excavator. And to be honest, I wasn't sure exactly when I was going to use it. But it sure came in handy today, because I just towed this excavator, or this trailer, right up into the driveway here, and didn't have to back it all the way down from the cul-de-sac up where I parked the truck. And it turned out to be pretty convenient. If I can get the, I'm gonna have to go swing us around. It picked up nice and stayed in the right orientation, but then I was talking more than paying attention and that kind of thing, and eventually it just turned into a mess because it was doing too many things at once. Let's see if we can get that to lay down in there. Nice. Well, as is obvious, I'd say our solution is definitely going to involve replacing this. Uh-oh. Alright, now that we got everything cut off, we're going to start welding new stuff on. First thing we got to do is grind this out and get it nice and bowled out for the new piece to go on there. Well, after an extensive amount of grinding, I got this thing kind of cradled in here real nice, and it's actually really close to square. Not perfect, but good enough for what we're doing here. Well, I got called away from this project, and now we're back at it. Got this thing all set up, and we're ready to make our welds right here. Alright, looks like we got it tacked on good. Time to weld it up. I was just about to stick this thing back onto here, and I remembered that since we've made this shorter now, we either got to cut this thing shorter or we have to make this thing longer so that way there's enough material sticking out the back here for me to weld some sort of keeper onto. Turns out this thing's about 2 inches shorter than it was, but there's only about an inch that we could trim off up here at this end before we get into that bolt. So it leaves me with kind of the only option is to make the tube longer. I thought about getting another piece of this stuff and welding it on. I thought that would probably be the rightest solution, but it was also just a little bit more work than just taking a piece of angle iron, sticking it in here and leaving it out a couple inches, and then that'll give me something I can weld probably another piece of this angle onto. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. And there we go. That little piece of angle sticks out just enough. I think I'll be able to sneak a bead in and get some sort of keeper welded across here. I think that's going to be the best solution. Well, it's on there. It ain't pretty, but it's on there. I think that about wraps up our repair. I got another job for this thing, so let's get out there and try it out. Well, here we have it. We got everything all set up, got all the lines hooked up and ready to go. I did have to bring the shear on the trailer because there's just not enough room to fit everything on the truck and not have the shear sticking way out the back and hanging down in an unsafe way and all that. So, is what it is. I just picked the shear off the trailer before I come off the truck because I don't know, I just thought I'd try it. It worked out fine. So we're gonna head off to this tree line right here and we're just gonna start trimming trees. Well, here we go, we're ready to get busy. Got the machine all lined up there. We're gonna trim these 2 trees here real quick and we'll just kind of see how it goes. Cut. Just like butter. Of course, after breaking this tube, I kind of am a little skittish about putting a bunch of force on things. Now I didn't get all the way down in there deep enough into the throat of things. There we go, very nice. It's not wanting to cut it off. There. It was cutting kind of at an angle and it didn't want to finish the cut with things at an angle like that. So that's important to note for the future. Ow, I can't reach it. There, that'll get it. It really didn't even need to be cut. I was there, so I thought I'd do it. Now on to the next tree. We can cut off. See how it does. Got it nice and close to the throat, the apex, or whatever. Just like that. Super easy. That's a pretty good cut too. I'm happy with that. Let's see if we can reach up here and get some of these smaller ones. Yeah, looks like he did just fine. And there we have it. We got our 2 trees here all trimmed up and ready to go. Now, to be fair, I do realize that this one I made those lower trim cuts on over here, I could have done those with a chainsaw, probably been faster. But you didn't select this video to watch me make chainsaw cuts, so that wouldn't make any sense now, would it? Next up, we got this hickory here. This will probably be the hardest cutting tree we have today, so I'm gonna stick the camera on the head here and you can see how it goes. Like a champ. Nice. All right, this is the biggest one on this tree, I think. Oh yeah, oh, it got you right in the face. Sorry about that. This is actually turned out to be a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I'm not sure if it's just seeing the success of something I put so much effort into or what, but I thought this was going to be a really boring thing to do, and I'm having a blast out here. Here's what this looks like from in the cab. As you can see, it's really hard to see the jaws unless the device is angled up a little bit, but the shape that those channel iron make kind of help guide stuff in when you can't see the tips of the jaws, and so it's not all that bad. You can still kind of do what you need to without actually seeing the jaws. So this is going to be about the biggest cut I've made so far. We'll see if it does it. Oh yeah, uh-oh. Well, that was less than desirable. I guess I gotta go cut that off with the chainsaw now. It did cut the stump. It did what we needed to, though. That's rewarding. Well, we got that resolved. We didn't break anything, so that was good. Let's try another smaller one here. This one's wanting to hang on a little bit. Off there. So then when the grapple gets turned, when the shear gets turned, I can just turn it back pretty easy like that. If you're wondering why I'm leaving these all so high, the landowner here specifically asked me to leave them high and paint them. I don't know if he's going to come by with a backhoe and dig them out or what his plan is, but it doesn't matter what his plan is. I just got to do my part to do what he wants done, you know. Well, folks, I am ecstatic with how well this thing has worked out. It's just the first time I've made something of substantial size or value and put so much effort into it, and it's actually worked out really well. I'm just thrilled with that. I'm also really thankful it's been as smooth of a process as it has. It could have been a lot worse. You know, that failure that we had was not that big a deal to fix, just some time. Didn't have to redesign the whole thing or anything like that. So super happy with how that went. I'm all wrapped up for the day and we're just heading back over there to the truck to load up and head out. But while we're up on this hill here, I want to show you all that we did. So this morning we started all the way down there at that first tree, trimmed all these trees. There's a bunch of little sapling trees in here that I cut down, trimmed all these. There was a bunch of other little saplings in here, kind of where it was sparse. Got down to the corner of the field there, came down this way, and then there was a spot right in there, and another spot right in there that we trimmed two sides of because there's a field beyond it. I did the math on it and measured all up in Google Maps and stuff, and it came out right around 2,100 feet. So I feel like that's a decent bit. I was hoping to get 1,000 feet in a day. This isn't super densely, it wasn't super thick. So maybe a little bit thicker of a tree line would require a little more time, but I'm super happy. We did really good. I think the customer's super happy. I talked with him and everything's working out well, so it's a good day. Thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking all the way out to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff, subscribe and hit that like button. And if you have any questions about this unit and this machine and everything and how it's all worked out, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. We'll catch you on the next one.